Alright YouTube, how we doing? So my whole life I was labelled as the fat kid, and in school my nickname was Beef Burger. By the age of 15 I weighed 400 pounds and I hated my life. I spent every single day just stuck in my bedroom playing Fortnite and eating shit food because of how insecure I was. Oh shit, here we go, here we go. Hey, easy. You know, I didn't want anybody to see me. But it got to a point where the self-hatred and just hating my life got so bad that I became willing to do anything to change. So I started starving myself. I wouldn't eat for weeks at a time. I'd have a very small piece of food and then I'd start starving myself again. I did this for about a year and I lost 140 pounds, which is around 10 stone. But it wasn't sustainable. I hadn't learned how to keep the weight off. And when I started eating again, the weight started to pile back on. Thankfully, I joined the gym. I started training with my friend, and then I started watching content like, like fitness influencers and stuff like that. And I learned about calorie counting. I started to learn about high protein diets. I learned how to actually lose weight the healthy way, and I lost a further 60 pounds. So 4 years later, I've failed and cheated on my diet about 1,000,000 times. I've learned about 1,000,000 lessons. I'm in a pretty good place now where I can give you some pretty good advice. So I'm gonna tell you my 4 best tips for weight loss, and I really hope this helps you. All right, so tip number 1 is eating high protein and high volume foods. So not only does protein build muscle and trigger the repairing of your muscles, it's also the most satiating and most filling food there is. So high protein foods look like things like chicken breast, pork, beef, like any meat really has very high protein. You can also get protein shakes, protein bars, but there are different types of foods which have higher amounts of protein. And there's also a lot of scammy brands out there. Some protein bars will say high in protein and it has like 9 grams of protein. Ideally, what you want to look for is at least 18 grams of protein, ideally higher than 20, but ideally 18 grams of protein and no higher than like 100 calories per 18 grams of protein. So if the thing that you're eating has 200 calories and 40 grams of protein, that's amazing. If it has 100 calories and 18 grams of protein, that's amazing. If it has 100 calories and 15 grams of protein, it's okay, but it's not ideal. Here's actually a really good example of those scammy foods which say they're high in protein, but they're not. So here we have pepperoni tapas chorizo things. It says high in protein, right? But let's have a look at the back here. So in 100 grams, which is actually double what's in the packet. So already like they're being a bit strange. Like, why are you telling me what's in double the packet? Like, I don't need to know that. It says 25 grams of protein. So it's like, oh wow, 25 grams. Yeah, okay, but that's in double what's actually in the packet. So if we half that, we're talking 12.5 grams of protein and we're talking 215 calories. So again, that's really bad. It's actually not enough to trigger muscle protein synthesis, which is the rebuilding of your muscles. And it's not going to be as satiating. It's not going to be as filling. So big scam. Screw you, pepperoni. Instead, what you want to choose is again, like I said, lean meats. So here we've got diced pork, which is just a lean meat. We're talking, if you can see that, but there we're talking 107 calories, 22 grams of protein. So you can eat 500 grams of this, the entire packet. Look at all that. Only why did I say it like that? Look at all that. 500 calories and over 100 grams of protein, which is going to be very satiating, very filling, and it's going to be very high volume. And high volume foods are foods that are very big, but very low in calories. So this could be things like cucumbers, which only have this amount of calories. I don't know off the top of my head, so I'm going to Google it. And also stir-fried vegetables are a staple of my diet because they're so low in calorie and you can eat so many of them. So I have like stir-fry every single day. And also what you can do is you can make food swaps. So you can swap foods for very similar foods which are much lower in calories. So instead of eating noodles, which would be this amount of calories, you can eat something like this, which is, these are called, I think they're called diet udon noodles, which have 11 calories. They're very big, they're very filling, you can eat like the whole packet and it's essentially like, no calories, like 11 calories. So I eat these every day in Tesco. I believe they are £2 or £1.50, depending if you have a club card. But, it is pretty pricey. It does add up. But thankfully, I can afford it and I eat it every single day. Secondly, what you can do is you can swap things like, okay, so here we've got semi-skimmed milk, which is 50 calories in 100 ml. Here we have no sugars almond milk. We're talking 15 calories per 100 ml. So you're saving you're saving 85 calories right there. Another swap which you can make is, instead of like light mayo here, which has 269 calories per 100 ml, just regular salad cream, not even light salad cream, only has 105 calories per 100 ml, so you're saving over 100 calories there. Another thing that you can do is you can swap mayo for one of these like skinny sauce mayos. So you can get certain brands. If you just search up like diet like mayo or whatever, you might be able to find like a similar brand online where they essentially have like 1 calorie, but it tastes like glue and it's not nice. So that's kind of up to you if you want to go that extreme. Another thing that you can do is you can swap like a barbecue sauce, which would be around this amount of calories, for something like no added sugar ketchup. Oh, this is regular ketchup. Let me get no added sugar. Reduced sugar and salt tomato ketchup. We're talking 46 calories per 100 grams. So I mean, again, that's really low. Right, so tip number 2 is you want to start small, okay? You don't have to all of a sudden start, like I did, starving yourself and going completely locked in and being like, all right, David Goggins mode, every morning I'm gonna wake up at 4 a.m. and it doesn't matter if it's raining, I'm gonna be carrying the logs, like it doesn't have to be that deep, man. Honestly, like when I first started dieting, even though I did a lot of things wrong, one thing that I did do right was I didn't just start suddenly, running and doing HIIT cardio and trying to lift like 30 kg dumbbells over my head or anything crazy. I started just simply going for walks. I didn't even join the gym. When I first lost 140 pounds, I didn't even go to the gym. I just went walking. So at first I would just walk around the block, because walking any further than that, and honestly just walking around the block, my back would literally feel like it was gonna snap in half. I had actual tears in my eyes just from walking around the block, like a 10-minute walk. I'd just be crying, I'd just be complaining. I just wanted to go home, but I pushed through it and I slowly upped it each day. So like at first, I'd just walk down a few roads. Then I'd walk down, maybe like one more road. And then the next day, maybe another road. And I'd slowly up it over time. And it's okay to up it at a very slow pace. So you might start off with a fairly small walk, do the same walk 6 times, and then do a slightly longer walk. And yeah, it seems like a slow process and you're gonna be like, oh, but I wanna progress faster. But you're going to be losing weight, so you are progressing, even if you're not doing more and more and more and more exercise, and it feels like maybe you're staying at like doing the same rate for a little while. You're still progressing because you're still losing weight, and over time you can up the exercise very slightly, and you're going to see even more weight loss, and you're going to get fitter over time without burning yourself out and depleting yourself of discipline. Because if you start really big all at once, your motivation is going to be right up here when you start. When you first start, your motivation up here, like you're like, yeah, winter arc, oh my god, yeah, I'm locking in, I'm doing it this time. And then that motivation, because when anything that goes up, it's got to come down, and it's going to come down. That motivation is going to disappear. But if you're determined enough and you're dedicated enough, then even when your motivation is right down here, you're still going to keep going. But that determination, that dedication is going to slip away if you go into extreme, because you're going to feel like, oh my god, this is so hard. Oh my god, like this is such a change from what I'm used to. I just can't sustain this, because your brain's going to start telling you, this is not who I am. I'm not built for this. My whole life I've been this way. Now suddenly I'm this way. No, this doesn't make sense. It's going to go back to its old patterns. So start small, change your lifestyle with little changes. Don't just start trying to do everything all at once. Tip number 3 is you want to weigh yourself weekly, but you don't want to rely on the scales for your progress. There's such thing as water retention, and the water in your body fluctuates throughout the day and throughout the week. So at different times of the day, you're going to weigh more because of different amounts of food in your body, different amounts of water. And throughout the week, you're going to have different amounts of water, different amount of food in you. And also the more salt you eat can actually raise your water retention. Started talking like Chris Bumstead there. But basically, say one day you have a really salty meal. Maybe you have like a lot of soy sauce on your stir fry, right? The next day you weigh yourself. Oh my God, I've gained 2 pounds. Okay, now I need to start dieting stricter. All right, so I'm cutting out this and I'm cutting out that and I'm going for more walks. And well, wait a second, now you're doing what I said not to do and you're going way too extreme. And you didn't even need to do it because what you gained was water, and that week you'd actually lost 1 pound, but you didn't know because the scale was wrong. So, the scale was right because you did weigh that, but it wasn't fat, it was water. So you want to weigh yourself once per week, usually like on the same day, because you might weigh yourself one week and see you've put on 2 pounds, weigh yourself the next week, do exactly what you did the last week and lose 3 pounds. Our bodies are very strange things. They're very complicated. It could be water, it could be salt, it could be muscle. You could be building muscle because you've started doing more exercise. You might not have even started weight training, but you might have started walking more and you might be building or strengthening your legs. So don't stress too much. Keep doing what you're doing and only make adjustments if you stay stagnant or you're gaining over like 2-3 weeks, then make some small adjustments. All right, so I've saved the best tip for last, and that is number 4, counting and tracking your calories. So trying to lose weight without tracking and counting your calories, you're basically just guessing and you're hoping for weight loss. It can work for a while, you know, especially if you're going very extreme like I did when I first lost 140 pounds. You know, I didn't need to count my calories because I was going so extreme. I was hardly eating. So yeah, I was losing weight without counting my calories. But when I started to do it the right way, the healthy way, obviously it was all about the small adjustments. It was all about eating 1,600 calories instead of 2,000 calories. And when it's so close like that and you're still losing weight, obviously you've got to be pretty precise with it, because 1 or 2 too many snacks, 1 or 2 too many meals, maybe a bit, even just a bit too much sauce on your meal can actually take you up to maintenance calories. So tracking your calories is very important. Do not skip it. I know it seems boring. I've said to a lot of people like, oh, do you want to lose weight? Yeah. Okay, so do you track your calories? No, it's boring. It's like, do you want this or not? Come on, man. So there's a really good app which I personally use called MyFitnessPal. So download that, link in description. And with tracking your calories, you can actually make sure that you're in a calorie deficit. Now that's the most important part of your weight loss journey, is being in a calorie deficit. You see, our maintenance calories is the amount of calories that we burn each day. So for most people, you burn around 2,000 to 2,500 calories simply just by existing, you know, by keeping your organs going, your heart pumping, by walking around the store and just doing things that you do throughout the day. You burn around 2,000 to 2,500 calories. So if you're eating under that, you're then in a calorie deficit because you're eating less than you're burning, which results in weight loss because your body's like, wait a second, I need more calories than this. I need more energy than this to survive. What am I going to do? Oh, wait. There's calories in fat, and I have a shit ton of fat on my body. So then you're going to start stripping the fat off your body and using that for energy instead of the excess food that you used to eat. So tracking your calories, being in a calorie deficit, is going to result in stripping the fat off your body. Another really good app that I use is the Steps app, which I'm going to link in the description as well. Now with this, you're not tracking the amount of calories that you're getting from your food, but you're actually tracking the amount of calories that you're burning through the amount of steps that you take throughout the day. And then you can actually take the calories that you've burned from walking, you can take that off the food that you've eaten, and then you can eat even more food, which makes, you know, dieting a lot better, because more food when dieting is amazing, right? It's going to make you more full. It's going to make it much less harder. So personally, I burn around 300 calories from walking per day. You know, for you that might look like 100 calories, but 100 calories extra, that's a lot more. You know, that's like a very, you know, it's like a pretty small chocolate bar, or, you know, that's like a fair amount of chicken, or it's like a fair amount of vegetables. That could be that last thing in the evening where you're starving and you have no more calories left. You're like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight because I'm so hungry. Oh, wait a second, I burned 100 calories walking earlier. I can have something small, and then you're gonna sleep much easier. And you know, sleep's good for weight loss too, so it's a win-win. So download those 2 apps and track your calories to make your weight loss much easier and easier to track. All right, man. So those are my 4 biggest and bestest, if that's even a word, tips that I personally learned on my weight loss journey. Hopefully this video has helped you. Hopefully it's not been too boring, and hopefully you actually didn't know some of that stuff. If you did know all of that and this video was boring, leave a dislike. If the video was entertaining and you didn't know some of it, then leave a like, subscribe, comment, and all that bullshit that everybody asks people to do in their videos. But yeah, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, man. And I wish you the best of luck on your weight loss journey. Also, I just realized I said man. You might be a girl, you may be a they, them. Whatever your gender is, I wish you the best of luck with your weight loss journey. Thanks for watching.